Coming up in the news, groundbreaking set for Grenada's new General Hospital and infrastructural work at Fort George nears completion. Details to these stories and more, plus a look at the news in the region when we return.
Do you live or own a business in Calavini, Marianne, Hopevale, Westerhall, or surrounding communities? The Government of Grenada invites you to a town hall meeting this Wednesday focused on Grenada's healthcare transformation and Project Polaris. Hear directly from the project team, ask questions, and gain a better understanding of the new hospital development in your community. The town hall meeting is on Wednesday, March 18th, 6 p.m. at the Westerhall Secondary School. The Honorable Prime Minister and members of Cabinet will be attending. You are an integral part of this conversation. Join the Government of Grenada, 6 p.m. Wednesday, March 18th at the Westerhall Secondary School. Come out and learn more about this exciting project happening in your community.
On Friday, March 27th, the Grenada National Cricket Stadium will be the battleground as the division of culture within the Ministry of Tourism, Creative Economy and Culture presents the Peter Phillip Drum Corps Competition. And this one promises to be the biggest one yet. Drum Corps from across the island is ready to show off their amazing talents, the excitement, the anticipation. The Boca Secondary School is back and ready to defend. Look on for other participating schools: GBSS, GSS, St. Joseph Convent Granville, St. Mark's Secondary School, Happy Secondary School, Wesley College, carriacou, St. David's Catholic Secondary School, and J.W. Fletcher. Who will it be in 2026? Start time 1 p.m. So get there early. Admission children, you pay 5. Adults, you pay 10. So come rep your team, rep your school inside the Grenada National Cricket Stadium for the Peter Phillip Drum Corps Competition. Friday, March 27th. Be there. Give them performance.
Welcome back. With the details to the GIS news on Monday, March 16th, 2026, I am Sherry-Ann Noel. Work will soon begin on Grenada's new General Hospital and Medical City with a groundbreaking ceremony scheduled for later this month. Project Polaris, as it is commonly known, is Grenada's leading transformational health initiative under the Deacon Mitchell-led administration designed to modernize healthcare services and improve access to advanced medical care for citizens. The 84-acre project site located at Calavini in St. George will see the construction of a 250-bed climate-resilient research and teaching hospital that will offer expanded specialist services, modern diagnostics, and improved healthcare delivery. The development will also include medical education and training facilities, housing for medical staff and students, hospitality and commercial spaces to support medical tourism, as well as retirement and wellness facilities. A groundbreaking ceremony to signal the start of construction is scheduled for March 27th. Project sponsor for Project Polaris, Ambassador Andrea St. Bernard, is inviting the public to attend what she describes as a national event.
The groundbreaking ceremony will be a wonderful event that will mark a very significant milestone for Grenada, the groundbreaking of our new General Hospital. The event is taking place later this month on the 27th of March. It will be right here at the project site in the old Calavini estate, right up the Eastern Main Road. And we're looking forward to everybody coming out and participating in the event with us. The groundbreaking ceremony is scheduled to begin at 4 p.m. on the 27th of March. That's a Friday evening, and we're inviting everyone to come and participate in this very exciting and important event for Grenada. This is an historic event for Grenada that marks a milestone in our history, in our future, and will be a moment that we will really be excited to look back on 50 years from now. And so we're inviting everyone to come and participate in this moment, a national proud moment for Grenada. The event starts at 4 o'clock, and we're encouraging everyone to come at 3:30 to get yourself well positioned, and the ceremonies will begin promptly at 4 p.m.
She explained that there will also be opportunities for site tours, and a digital map of the area will be produced for public circulation. The aim is to ensure that surrounding communities and the wider public remain informed as the development progresses. Ambassador St. Bernard believes Project Polaris will become a significant pillar in Grenada's development.
This is an ideal place for accessibility for the Tri-Island State. It's certainly a much more appropriate location than the current General Hospital, which is down in the south and difficult to access through town traffic. 84 acres gives the government the opportunity to control the space around the hospital, primarily to ensure accessibility and emergent care access. The hospital is also planned to have a helipad that offers similar level of care and service to our brothers and sisters in Carriacou and Petite Martinique.
Moving along, infrastructural works at Fort George are nearing completion, with all major physical work expected to be completed by the end of March this year. The restoration of Fort George began in January 2023 and included the rehabilitation of existing buildings with the addition of new facilities like washrooms, ticket office, a restaurant, and skyline bar. The project is part of the OECS Regional Tourism Competitiveness Project and is spearheaded by the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation, and Transformation. MIT Minister Honorable Andy Williams gave an update on the restoration.
It's at the last stage. As a matter of fact, at the end of March, that is when the major physical work should be completed. And they will be demobilizing in terms of their contractor. At the end of April, that is when the softer works should be completed. So we are looking at this project, let's say give or take May, to be completed in its full sense. There's one part of the project that we have to revisit is building where the police headquarters was. That building, we had to make a decision if to demolish the building or not. And we decided to keep the building. So we'll have to do some works on the building to make it, match the beautiful works that is on the fort.
Upon completion, Fort George will be handed over to the Ministry of Tourism and the Grenada Tourism Authority.
DNO will come in and decide exactly when they would open it, what the certain spaces will be used for. Even though we have an original plan, it's set up to them to say what the different spaces will be used for. So folks can, at the end of April or May, on the advice of the GTA and the Tourism Authority and the Ministry of Tourism, then folks can come to visit the fort and to see what a wonderful work that has been done here.
17 of the 23 buildings at Fort George were demolished as part of the project. Senator Claudette Joseph is delighted that the site's cultural history will be preserved.
There's a lot of history here, and we are going to aim to preserve all our history, and while at the same time creating a very pleasant space where people would love to come, relax, have a meal, visit a museum, and just with their family. And hopefully we would also have cultural and create spaces for our creatives so that there could be that kind of entertainment here as well. Because as you can see, it's a vast space with many compartments. And as we walk through, we see so many spaces where a lot can happen. So we would put the fort to best use.
Movement is taking place within Grenada's marine sectors. Government has secured funding that will support the completion of the country's national ocean policy and the piloting of enhanced offshore fisheries monitoring systems on local fishing vessels. Approximately $810,000 has been secured from Compete Caribbean for the initiative titled Operationalizing Grenada's National Framework for Sustainable Ocean Governance. The funding was secured through the efforts of Minister for Climate Resilience, the Environment and Renewable Energy, Honorable Kirin James, and advisor to the Ministry of the Blue Economy and Marine Affairs, Ambassador Jerry Eno. Speaking with GIS News, Ambassador Eno emphasized the importance of the initiative, noting that as Grenada moves forward in developing its marine space and building new economic opportunities, the appropriate structures must be in place to guide the sector.
We are exploring different avenues for economic development that are focused on things like coastal tourism, increasing our products in the tourism sector, the expansion of our marine protected areas, underwater sculpture park. We are looking at offshore renewable energy, even hydrocarbon exploration. It's all happening offshore. So it is important that we have something that guides the development. Our fisheries is constantly evolving and expanding. International organizations and entities, when they're looking at a country, they always look to ensure that there is policies in place, rules and regulation that would manage that ocean space. So the development needs to happen in a guided fashion. It is not just ad hoc and anything goes. You have to have a long-term vision. You have to have a strategic plan. And we thought that finalizing our national ocean policy. In fact, the ocean policy on the first page of the policy calls for the renew on the or the revise of the policy every 5 years. And it's been 7 or 8 years we have a draft policy. So it is of paramount importance that we develop that and finalize that ocean policy.
He added that the completion of the National Ocean Policy will also see increased use of technology for monitoring and compliance. This includes the installation of electronic and vessel monitoring systems on longline fishing vessels, the development of a marine mammal interaction protocol and training to strengthen data reporting and regulatory compliance. According to Ambassador Eno, these measures will be critical in ensuring that Grenada's fishing sector remains compliant with international standards.
That funds will be used for to implement a vessel monitoring system on our fishing fleet. So it will be a pilot project. We would probably start with about 20 or 30 vessels, and that will track the distance, the location, and so on of the fishing fleet. Because eventually, what would have happening in the future, you will have to provide a lot of information to international bodies and regulators as it relates to your fishing activities. One thing that would happen, we will be able to track where the vessels fish, how long they go, so that will give an idea as to the location they are, the grounds that they are fishing on. Now, that is important for traceability. In the future, we would have to provide information to the importing countries that import our fish. Where exactly was that tuna caught? Where exactly was that fish caught? So these are some of the things that they will be requesting from us in the near future. And we are taking a step ahead of that, and we see it coming, so we are preparing for some of those things.
Ambassador Eno also noted that the developments are not a knee-jerk reaction to current issues facing the fisheries sector, but are part of a longer-term strategic process.
These are old laws from 1986, 87, so it was about time that we revised those laws. So our effort to develop the fishing sector is not something that we are doing as a reaction to things. We take the approach of a strategic long-term plan. The National Ocean Policy, the revising of the laws, the upgrading of the fish market, they're looking at new technology, the training of our fisher folk. Only yesterday, the ministry had a ceremony where we hand out safety equipment and certificates in trade fish safety at sea, fishing, and so on. So these are things that we are doing to enhance the fishing sector and not just a one-off reaction. So it's a strategic development.
The Ministry of Blue Economy and Marine Affairs will oversee implementation of the project with technical support from the Inter-American Development Bank. The initiative is expected to deliver long-term institutional, ecological, and economic benefits for Grenada's ocean sector. Fishermen throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique are now better equipped to carry out their work while significantly reducing the risk of loss of life in the event of an emergency at sea. This follows the recent injection of approximately US $1.7 million by the government of Grenada under the UBEC project in collaboration with the Windward Islands Research and Education Foundation, WINDREF. This component of the project focuses on improving responses to distress calls, engine failure, and other emergencies, expanding the range of ship-to-shore communications, and upgrading the repeater system to ensure island-wide coverage. During a recent handover ceremony, 100 fishermen from mainland Grenada received certificates for successfully completing safety at sea training. They were also presented with safety toolkits, commonly referred to as grab bags, valued at more than $8,000. Minister for Economic Development and Planning and Minister for the Blue Economy, Lennox Andrews, says the safety of fisherfolk when they go out to sea is of paramount importance, noting that one loss is one too many.
There is that responsibility that is placed on yourself. There is that responsibility that is placed on yourself. not to bring pain and grief and suffering to families, to neighborhoods, to community. Not to do that by going out not fully equipped. And all the conditions have been created now for you to be equipped. Protect yourself, and in so doing, protect your families, your friends, your neighborhood, your loved ones. We need you. You are important. Accept that, my friends, that the country needs you and that you are important for our country. You are producing the best protein that our country can produce. And therefore, the health and the wealth of our people lie precisely in your hands. And I want you to recognize and accept the important role that you are playing when you go out there to fish.
Newly appointed Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Blue Economy and Marine Affairs, Isaac Bagwan, commended the officials for completing the training and dedicating their time to the program. While the training focused on safety at sea, PS Bagwan also used the opportunity to highlight the importance of safeguarding the investment through proper insurance coverage.
During Hurricane Beryl, when the government took a decision to allocate some funds towards the fisher folks and farmers, and we were appalled that less than 5% of the fisher folks had any form of insurance. And this was very appalling. So it put a strain on government to try and find the resources. Of course, we could not have replaced any one single boat 100%, so we just gave you a percentage. For some of you, you did not have a savings, and so you had to depend on the bank and family, and so, and probably you would have owned old persons before, so that you couldn't get a start. Yeah. So I just want to appeal to you that we need to deal with insurance.
A total of 8 seminars were conducted across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, with 140 fishers completing the training. UBEC Project Coordinator Yolan Noel says the organization remains committed to supporting the development of Grenada's fishing industry.
The UBEC project understands the contribution of the fishing sector to Grenada's economic development and has not only invested in this training, your safety at sea training, but we are also under the fisheries sector and under WINDREF, we have also trained the persons in FADS construction, installation, and we have 11 FADS deployed throughout the Tri-Island state. We also will soon publish a consultancy for the development of the FADS policy and also management plan. Now that we have deployed the FADS and we are learning from what is happening now, we then have to put management systems in place. We will also invest in pre and post harvesting of fish and fish products. We have procured 5 ton ice machines, fish bins and boxes, as well as 3 condensing machines. As Mr. Rennie mentioned earlier, WINDREF was also responsible for installing 5 repeaters to ensure that you can communicate while you're out at sea. And these repeaters will be at Frequente, Granitime, Mount St. Catherine, Kublal, and then there's one in Carriacou. We have also trained persons and continue to train persons with the support of OECS in grant proposal writing and access to grant finance.
We'll take a short break. Stay with us. We have more when we return.
The government of Grenada has amended the Drug Abuse Act. Cannabis is now decriminalized. If you are 21 years or older, you may possess up to 56 grams of cannabis and 15 grams of resin. Registered households may grow up to 4 cannabis plants for medicinal, therapeutic, or horticultural purposes. The Rastafarian community now has legal recognition to use and cultivate cannabis in registered places of worship and approved events. Past minor cannabis convictions will be expunged. Pending minor cases will be discontinued. For young adults aged 18 to 20, criminal charges are replaced with mandatory rehabilitation and counseling. No criminal record will be created. This reform focuses on decriminalization, not full legalization. It promotes responsibility, supports fairness, and reflects progress. For more information, contact the Cannabis Secretariat at cannabiscommission@gov.gd. The Cannabis Secretariat, guiding responsible cannabis use and awareness in Grenada.
Welcome back. Grenada prepares to participate in Carib Wave 2026, a simulation exercise geared towards tsunami preparedness in the Caribbean. The regional annual exercise will be held this Thursday, March 19th in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, led by the National Disaster Management Agency NADMA, through collaboration with the Meteorological Office and the Royal Grenada Police Force. National Disaster Coordinator Dr. Terence Walters says this year's exercise will include tsunami warning drills, evacuation, and testing of emergency communication systems.
This year we are choosing to do the exercise in Carriacou and in Petit Martinique. So we will evacuate a school in Carriacou and the primary school in Petit Martinique. And then, other community entities will participate to test communication to let us know that they received the message and see how far we go. Because we continue, it's a continuous process. We continue to prepare for tsunamis, but you have to continue and do it over and over and ensure that the population understands, hey, tsunami is a real threat.
Meteorological forecaster Nicole Jones says the simulation will surround the eruption of Kikimjini.
The underwater volcano, Kikimjini, that would trigger a flank collapse, which will generate a tsunami, which in turn the Meteorological Office will issue to Grenada and the surrounding Caribbean islands, and NAGMA will take it from there. We are the focal point in disseminating the information.
Carib Wave is executed annually on the third Thursday in March and is coordinated regionally by UNESCO. Dr. Walters believes although tsunamis are not frequent threats within our region, public education on preparedness is extremely important.
It is critical, very important, that we educate the population, let the population know the dangers of tsunamis and how we should prepare for them, how we should respond if there is a tsunami threat. So it is quite important that we participate in the tsunami exercise each year. And we have been doing that over a number of years, participating in this tsunami exercise.
The Consumer Affairs Office last Friday hosted its national celebration of World Consumer Rights Day at the courtyard of the Esplanade Mall, bringing together government officials, consumer advocates, and members of the public to promote consumer protection and awareness. The event, which ran from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., featured several booths from the Consumer Affairs Office and other stakeholders, providing guidance on consumer rights, product standards, and fair business practices. Members of the public also benefited from free health checks conducted by nurses from the Ministry of Health. Among those attending were Attorney General and Minister for Legal Affairs, Labor and Consumer Affairs, Senator Claudette Joseph, along with permanent secretaries from several ministries. Delivering the feature address was Dr. Guido Marcel, who emphasized the importance of consumer education, particularly as digital commerce and online transactions continue to grow.
The rights to safety therefore require businesses to provide consumers with products and services that are safe for the intended use. The rights give consumers the right to be protected against products or services that are dangerous or defective. The rights to safety stipulates that business must provide detailed instructions on how to use the products and service safely.
In her remarks, Senator Claudette Joseph reaffirmed government's commitment to strengthening consumer protection systems in Grenada and encouraged citizens to become more aware of their rights.
In just 2 years, and under the leadership of our Consumer Affairs Director, the office has established itself as a key institution dedicated to protecting consumers and promoting fair trading practices across the state of Grenada. Since its establishment, the Consumer Affairs Office has made steady and measurable progress. The office has received, assessed, and addressed consumer complaints, providing guidance and redress where possible. These efforts have helped to restore trust between consumers and businesses and reinforce the importance of accountability in the marketplace. In 2025, the Consumer Affairs Office received and investigated 34 consumer complaints, representing a total claim in the value of $560,230.36. Through guided mediation and advisory intervention, the office successfully facilitated the settlement of complaints valued at $506,668.25. So that speaks to a 75 to 80% success rate on the part of the staff at the Consumer Affairs Office in helping our general public to resolve disputes between consumers and businesses.
Meanwhile, Director of Grenada Bureau of Standards, Robert Medford, highlighted the Bureau's role in ensuring goods and services meet established safety and quality standards.
As we celebrate World Consumer Rights Day, we reflect on the importance of protecting consumers and ensuring that every product and service we use is safe, reliable, and is of good quality. Consumers are at the center of every economy. And when consumers are protected, markets become stronger, fairer, and more sustainable. One of the most important systems that protects consumers, coming from the Grenada Bureau of Standards as a premier quality institution in Grenada, is what we call the quality infrastructure. And the quality infrastructure is based on several pillars. The pillar of standards, inspection and testing, certification and accreditation. And when these pillars work together, we have safe products, confident consumers.
World Consumer Rights Day is observed annually on March 15th, raising awareness about consumer rights and promoting fair and transparent practices in the marketplace. And finally, in the local segment, the Grenada Athletic Association on Saturday announced a 57-athlete squad set to compete at the 53rd Character Games. This year, the event returns home to the Kirani James Athletic Stadium from April 4th to 6th, 2026. The squad is a vibrant mix of talent and promise on the field and track, with 57 athletes ready to give their all. Among them are 14 girls in the under-17 category and 7 in the under-20 group. On the boys' side, 16 are competing in the under-17 and 20 more in the under-20 division. Leading the charge is head coach Wayne McSween alongside team manager Kathleen Victor and assistant team manager Akeda Calise, with Denise Williams, the safeguarding officer, and Kenisha Richards, the physiotherapist. They combine efforts ensure the athletes are well prepared both physically and mentally. The coaching lineup is equally impressive, featuring Paul Phillip, Danisha Braffett, Carol Evans, Ronald Charles, Benjamin Hood, Lyndon Cato, Naid Simon, Kurt Felix, and Gary James. Each one brings experience, passion, and strategy to help these young athletes shine on the track. In a recent conversation during Carifta Chat, the president of the Grenada Athletic Association made a heartfelt appeal. Coaches and school principals were urged to avoid overworking the athletes during the upcoming Intercall Games from March 17th to 19th. The message was clear. These young stars need time to recover and rest if they are to perform at their very best when Carifta finally kicks off.
As from a Grenada Athletic Association point of view, and the body that is responsible for track and field in our country, it is incumbent on us to give advice. And our advice is that the schools, the staff, the coaches, we know that yes, you want to win, but we believe that it should not be win at all costs. we believe that it should not be win and at all costs and endangering your athletes. So our clarion call is that the abuse of athletes must stop.
Francis says the team selected isn't just representing their schools or clubs, they are carrying the spirit of Grenada on their shoulders.
We have noticed that athletes will, over the 3 days, will run 13 times. 13 times. Some of them 14 times, because if you enter in 4 track events or 5 track events, right? For example, if you're running from 1 to 400, that means you are running 6 times. That's 6 times already, because you have heats and then you have finals. So 3 events, you're on the track 6 times. Then you're still on the 2 relay teams, and they are not resting the athletes for the relays. They put them in the relays. So that's 7 times already. 6 and 2, that's 8. That's 8 times. And then you're running the 4x4 again. So that's 9 times, right? And some actually running 1, 2, 4, 800, 1500. There's not sufficient time for these athletes to recover between events, and that can cause serious injuries to the athletes.
Following the intercall games and the closure of schools, the athletes will go into camp from Friday, March 27 to Tuesday, March 31st, after which they will be officially presented with their kits and return to their homes before heading to the assigned hotel on April 2nd. That's a wrap for the local segment. We'll have a look at what's happening in the region when we come back.
My name is Liselle Walcott. I'm a staff nurse at the General Hospital for the past 16 years. At the Infection Control Department, we do surveillance for communicable diseases or hospital-acquired infections. We do outbreak investigations. So any issues we have, we would investigate it, find out the cause, and we would do recommendations and interventions to all relevant departments. Thus far, with Mount Sinai, we are looking at ways of improving hand hygiene. Hand hygiene has been proven to be one of the most important practices you could do to break the chain of infection. Working along with Mount Sinai, I foresee that it will be a very good thing for us. They are looking into the products that we use, the practices that we do. Going forward, we'll be able to achieve a very high level of compliance and safety across the board for everyone.
The Pan-American Health Organization, PAHO, has issued a new epidemiological alert warning of continued yellow fever transmission in parts of South America, with cases still being reported in 2026 and appearing in areas beyond the traditional Amazon basin hotspots. Since September 2024, cases have been detected in locations where the disease had not previously been recorded. PAHO is urging countries to strengthen epidemiological surveillances, expand vaccination campaigns among at-risk populations, and ensure travelers heading to areas where the vaccine is recommended are properly informed and protected. In 2025, 346 confirmed cases and 143 deaths were reported across 7 countries in the region, including Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Guyana, Peru, and Venezuela. PAHO is also encouraging health services to improve early detection of severe cases and maintain vaccine stockpiles to enable a rapid response to potential outbreaks. A group of Caribbean countries is aiming to raise US $200 million to boost biodiversity and strengthen their influence over international environmental funding. Grenada's climate ambassador, Sophia Swanee, told Reuters the OECS 30 by 30 initiative seeks to protect 30% of land and sea by 2030, using multilateral, bilateral, and philanthropic and private sector funding, including debt for nature swaps. Small island developing states, highly vulnerable to climate change, need about US $12 billion a year for adaptation, but currently receive only US $2 billion. Swanee said donors must trust local governments to prioritize initiatives that reflect their own needs and maximize impact. That's a look at news for today, Monday, March 16, 2026. A recap of the top stories. Groundbreaking set for Grenada's new General Hospital and infrastructural work at Fort George nears completion. On behalf of the news and production team, I am Sharian Noel, thanking you for viewing.